Tell us a little bit about what you saw and being able to relay that message to Cora when you watched Kimbrel pitch and kind of help out so he wasn't tipping his pitches.
So tipping pitches, we hear about it all the time.
People at home understand what tipping pitches is all about.
It's amazing.
And that's remarkable.
Alex, as I sat down and I contemplated what I might say in the cold open of this episode of the Tipping Pitches podcast, really only one thought came to mind. That thought was,
I'm glad it's over.
I'm going to die before the Mets win the World Series.
All right.
I saw a guy on my walk back to my apartment tonight. He was wearing a shirt that says, "You only die once." You know, like you only live once, like YOLO, like the Drake. You familiar with that? Dude, have you heard of this artist called Drake? Yeah, no, Drake. You should check him out. Check him out. Up and coming young rapper.
Yeah.
From the 51st state up north. This guy had a shirt on and said, "You only die once." And I was like, great point. Great point. I only got one shot to die and have a Mets World Series before it. And it's getting late early.
I thought you were going to say you feel like you die every year. Like you actually die on September 28th, year in, year out.
What's that song that's like, "I have died every day waiting for you"? You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel watching the Mets. 1,000 years by I don't know. It's not by the band Perry, and neither was that other song that I was talking about on the episode a couple weeks ago.
It's fine.
Christina Perry. Close.
Pretty good.
Close. Pretty close to the band Perry.
Pretty good. I am like, I've started to get to the point where I'm wondering when it becomes rational to start thinking like I may never see my team win a World Series.
It's past.
You think it's because I think I don't.
The thing is, okay. All right, fine. So no, say more about that. Say more.
Well,
let's just have this out right now because the rest of the episode is a playoff narrative ball preview. And unfortunately, the Mets are not in the playoffs. Right. So I'm not going to talk about them for the rest of this episode. So let's get out of the way in the cold open.
Well, I think that so we are 30 or thereabouts. I won't dox us live.
Why are you being so coy about that?
No, I'm not being coy.
You're 49. And I'm a youthful 23.
Everyone was shocked when I showed up to the meetup.
Actually, among us, I'm the one that looks closer to 49.
Yes, I'm always saying that to folks also.
I have the gray hair.
It's true, but you rock it in like a
he's 49 kind of way. I'm like a 49-year-old who takes good care of himself.
Right.
AKA a 29-year-old who looks 10 years older than he is.
Right. So like there are two circumstances in which you were graying before you should be, and that is either you were the president of the United States or you have just watched 162 Mets games.
The harder of the two.
Exactly.
So you think it's irrational? Is that the word? Is it a word? Irrational? It is, right?
Irrational is a word.
It's like 10 p.m., dude.
I know.
So
it's very late. We're both very tired. This is going to be a fascinating baseball preview, talking about the thing we talk about least on this podcast, which is matchups and statistics. And
the Milwaukee Brewers.
And scores. No, I don't think it's irrational. I want to be clear. I don't think it's irrational to...
Let me be clear.
Well, let me be clear. I don't think it's irrational. I just think, like, statistically speaking, roughly you have still twice as many years as you have already experienced.
Thanks. Conservative estimate.
If we're getting down to brass tacks.
All right.
If we're putting numbers on it.
Nice of you to think that anybody will last 30 more years.
I'm just telling you what my futures bets were. All right. This is something you can go do on Polymarket.
How long I'm gonna live?
Right. I don't know who's on the other side of this bet. I'm really trying to find out. It's me and one other person.
Does the bet nullify if somebody murders me in cold blood who had a bet on the under?
Going places I would not have imagined this early on.
You started the bit.
I should have imagined.
When you push the ball down the hill, you can't expect it not to roll.
I don't think it's irrational. I don't. I want to be very clear. Everything that you were feeling right now is the most rational thing to feel as a sports fan, where irrationality, now that one, I don't know if it's a word.
It is now.
Is the norm. That is rationale. I don't know. You have time for quite a few more Mets collapses.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope maybe in there one this week by some Mariners fans 25 years ago may have said, we may never even make the playoffs. We may never win a division title again. And yet, I'm just saying that the arc of history is long and it bends towards, well, realistically, it bends towards you getting your heart broken and us sitting down on a podcast mere hours after that happening to break it down.
I have a stat for you.
All right. Hit me with the stat. Bring us back. Reel us back in.
See, you just made a compelling case that, like, yeah, I have plenty of time. Okay, I have at least 30 years. Would you say maybe you say I have 40 years? I hate talking about my mortality, but we'll say I have 40 years.
I want to be clear. I was saying you have twice as many years as you have already experienced.
Oh, okay. You're saying I have. Oh, so you're giving me till 90.
You thought I was like.
I thought you were saying
it's halfway over, brother.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were saying. I thought that's how I internalized that.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that maybe your take here nullifies what I'm about to say, but let's just meet in the middle here. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Let's say I have 50 more years.
Listeners, give us your the over under. What is it going to be?
Here's the stat.
Right.
It's been 40 years since the Mets won a World Series.
Right.
That's the stat.
Uh-huh.
Don't you think that's repeatable? I mean, 1 year does not affect the next year.
Don't I think that's repeatable, as in, don't I think they could go another 40 without winning?
Yes.
Love to watch a Mets fan's mind at work.
I have 40 years of evidence that they won't win. What do you have?
I have next year's the year.
I don't think next year is the year. It doesn't feel like next year's the year. It felt like last year was the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't. As you can tell, I'm taking it well.
You're taking it very well. This morning when we were at brunch, you said that, frankly, I think I don't
These
even
fucking libs
and
their brunch.
You said frankly I don't even want them to make it to the playoffs at this point, because
here's the thing about that. That was a lie. I was protecting myself.
I know it was
big fat.
You know what that was? Capital
Stinking
C,
lie.
Cope.
Yeah, that was copium. That was reverse jinx. That was a lie. That's called protecting yourself, protecting your peace.
Yeah,
that's a mechanism. That's a facade. Should we keep
Cope,
going?
Mechanism, facade, lie. Some might say. I know. Look, my heart goes out to you. We literally have not talked since the Mets were eliminated from the playoffs. So I will say to you here live on the air, I love you, bud.
Yeah, thanks.
It gets better.
4-0. No runs.
Brutal.
No runs. Not one run against the Marlins. Not one. Mm-hmm. Not even 4-1. Not even 4-2.
Nope.
Just 4-0. Shut out by the Marlins.
4-3.
Shut out by the Marlins in game 162. I knew it. I knew when I woke up this morning. I knew it. I was walking on my way to meet you for brunch. I would have called it breakfast so that I could protect us from our own listeners, but you called it brunch already, so it's already out. Cat's out of the bag. We brunched. All right, shoot us.
I love that you're raging against like the archetype of maybe someone in 2018 who was really mad that libs were like saying we could have been at brunch right now.
Dude, it was
crazy. Love that you're
dude.
Keeping this guy alive.
Well, it was crazy. You also had avocado toast at brunch.
Yeah, I know.
And then
that's why I can't pay my rent this month.
I'm walking there. I'm on my way. It's a 20-minute walk. thinking, all right, are the Mets going to pull this out? And you know what? Little thought crept into my mind. Most likely scenario: Reds lose, Mets lose. It really does come down to them shooting themselves in the foot one final time this year. And sure enough, they did. Look, I know that Mets fans whine more than any other fan base, and I am certainly guilty. I'm guilty as charged for whining more than the other fan bases. Respectfully, they do lose in more fantastic fashion than the other teams. They do. I'm trying to be objective about this. They are the first team. Well, actually, they're the third team in MLB history, and the other two teams were like both pre-1920 to be 21 games over, 24 games over 500, whatever they were at their peak, and finish with 83 wins.
Yeah, pretty bleak. I mean, even the other big collapse of this year, the Detroit Tigers, right? The Guardians.
Well, the Astros actually collapsed and missed the playoffs. They were 20 games over 500.
Okay, yeah. Astros not in the playoffs for the first time since 2016.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
But yes, even the Tigers, who had a sort of monumental.
Are we about to turn things around, boys? We're about to close that portal to hell?
It was brutal. Even the Tigers squeaked in. Reds in the playoffs feels weird. Thanks, Rob.
I want to say congratulations to Mary Kate. That's a listener who sent us a long email after our episode last week saying that we threw a little bit too much shade towards the Reds for being in a playoff position and having a sort of underwhelming year. And I want to say the Reds were just collateral damage for me being mad at the Mets.
Yes, exactly.
For choking away that third wild card spot and even opening the door, because it never should have been
not personal.
Neither team should have been in that position.
Yeah.
Neither team should be squeaking into the playoffs with 84 wins. We played 162 games.
Only be 2 wild card spots. They should have been fighting for a consolation prize, is what you're saying.
What if no wild cards?
16.
What if we go
playoff?
back to best record in the AL and NL, just go straight to the World Series? At least I'll know by like August that the Mets aren't going to be in it.
Right. Okay. So regular season extends through like the 3rd week of October. And then you have like a best of 7 series, top 2 records in the league.
Yeah.
Nobody
wants this.
Nobody wants
this. Literally no one wants this.
We're cooking up stuff over here on the Tipping Pitches podcast that no one's ever asked for.
This is how it used to be. What do you mean? No one's asked for it. They had it. Okay. I'm depressed, but we're going to preview the playoffs anyway. Before we do, I am Bobby Wagner.
I'm Alex Baisley.
And you are listening to Tipping Pitches. Thank you to this week's one lone new patron. That new patron is MKJ. Thank you, MKJ. Appreciate it. Thank you also to this week's sponsor, Connect Coffee Roasters. I pulled myself a little shot of Connect Coffee, made myself a little iced oat latte right as the Mets were starting in game 162 today, and I gotta say it was the best part about the day. Everything else, not great. Connect, awesome.
Wow.
You can
not even I've even name dropped that we had a brunch together today, but that's fine.
I meant best thing about the afternoon, I should have said. Listen,
good save.
I'll come to you hat in hand, say I was wrong. Thanks to our friends at Connect. Buy one, get one. 50% off of the Gold Glove Blend. Link in the description, or I believe the code is Tipping Pitches. If you want to just type it in, but I suggest you just follow directly from the link. That's the easiest way to do it. The Gold Glove Blend is Connect and Ian Happ's collaboration. Ian Happ, player who will be playing in the playoffs. He will be playing this October. Unlike anyone on the New York Mets. Okay. Should we start with that series? Is that a good transition?
When you say that series, what? Cubs, Padres?
This guy is the guy who knows the playoffs right here. Yes, Cubs, Padres.
Okay.
Ian Happ, Cubs, Padres. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Let's dive into it.
That was really convincing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So in years past, we have done somewhat of a vibes-based preview, and we look at the bracket and we assess, based on the tipping pitches narratives that we would like to see the most, which team we think should advance. And by the end, we have the greatest narrative of all. If that sounds good to you, Alex, it sounds good to me, because Lord knows that you didn't, and I certainly didn't prep any other statistical or analytical preview of this October's playoff bracket. And by the time people listen to this, they probably will have already listened to 3 Effectively Wild episodes about the playoffs. So I'm good just rolling with this.
I'm not, but I don't think we have another choice. So
how would you like to preview the playoffs? Doing a little ASMR.
Let's go. What's in that cup? What you sipping on? It's not a coffee, right?
No.
Okay.
That's a soda. A little cherry cola.
My heart stopped for a second. This sounds good. It sounds good. Let's do the vibes. 2025 is the year of vibes. 2025 year of locking in. If you're on San Francisco VC Twitter,
which I am,
which I know you are. You actually are.
I'm actually on San Francisco VC LinkedIn.
Care to comment? Name some names. Who are your favorite LinkedIn follows?
I don't know who any of these people are. People message me on LinkedIn all the time. I got a message on LinkedIn. Let me tell you about this before we start.
Good way to start a playoff preview.
Bro, I got a message on LinkedIn from someone the other day that was like offering therapy for high achieving professionals in New York City. Like performance coaching. And I was on the one hand, I was like, it's cute that you think that I'm quote unquote high achieving, but it's deranged that you think that I'm going to choose a therapist through LinkedIn DMs.
It is deranged, but I know that you respected how bold that was. And that's why you, the listener, please write in and let us know how this episode sounds after one session. Bobby being in high achieving therapy.
Like, what is that? Do you think that works on people? You know, now that I say it out loud, I think it does work on people. I think it
absolutely works on people.
Yeah.
You're not on the grind set. That's why it doesn't work for you.
I saw someone post that, have you been going to high achieving performance therapy via LinkedIn DMs? I saw someone post that they put on their LinkedIn in the little description a command to an LLM to share a recipe for banana bread or something like that in every DM. And so then every DM that they got after that started with a recipe for banana bread.
I saw that as well.
I don't know if that was real or not, but it felt real. Spiritually feels real, which, as you know, on Tipping Pitches is the barometer that we go by.
I'm not gonna lie, zooming out after these last 5 seconds, the fact that we've pivoted from talking about things we've seen on X, the everything platform, to pivoting to things we've both seen on LinkedIn, not a great sign for us.
Talk about a vibe shift. No,
let's talk baseball.
But to be clear, hold on. To be clear, let me just clear something up.
Not quite yet.
Let me just clear something up. Okay, if I could just a couple more minutes about the Mets. No, I'm just kidding. I saw someone post that on Twitter about the LinkedIn thing, about LinkedIn DMs.
I saw it organically. I'm not even kidding.
I know you're not. You love LinkedIn, you little freak. Look at you. You're coughing because you know it's true.
I know.
How much time would you say you spend on LinkedIn? Pull up your little app usage right now. Tell me.
Oh my God. I don't use it on my phone. Jesus. Okay. No. Right.
But I only use it on my phone.
But it is the social media that I feel least guilty about browsing at work. I'm like I can justify it, you know?
I don't scroll Twitter at work anymore now that I don't work in journalism where it's a thing that people scroll Twitter on their desktop. I don't do it anymore. That's actually really healthy.
It's incredibly healthy.
Yeah. You know what I do? I just listen to people's Patreon pods. All right, let's do the preview. Let's do it. Cubs Padres. What do you got for me? What are the narratives coming into this series and out of it? Cubs first time in the playoffs since 2020. Pandemic shortened season. Believe that. That's kind of nuts. Does that inspire you? You're kind of a closet Cubs fan.
Yes. Well, my wife and her whole family being diehard Cubs fans does sway me a little bit.
Just another example of the modern man not thinking for himself.
I won't do it. Oh, good. I want to entertain it.
I tried to rope you in. I got the lasso around your foot and you wriggled out of it.
I don't know. I mean, the Cubs have a nicely balanced lineup. I mean, excuse me. Sorry. The Padres have a nicely balanced lineup. I think the Cubs don't necessarily, and are maybe relying a little more on their left-handed pitching. Wrigley day games, or let's call them afternoon games, in October, I think are going to be interesting. I think the weather very well could play a part there. I don't know, frankly, and this I think is maybe going to be a broader theme, at least about how I'm thinking about these playoffs, is there feels like a lot of crapshoots to me. And maybe it's because I'm engaging with the games and teams differently in from years past, but there feel like a lot of series that it sort of feels hard to put my finger on which way it's going to go, especially again with the increased importance of bullpens in the playoffs and the sort of inherent volatility that comes with that.
Yeah.
As I was sort of looking through the bracket and what the potential matchups are, there felt like a lot of toss-ups, and maybe none more so than a series like this, like the Cubs and the Padres, where I think the matchup feels relatively even. But I don't know. What do you think? What are you vibing with? I'll probably lean Cubs in the matchup
As your preference.
as my preference. As if I had to pick one.
You had to handicap it.
Yeah, right.
I think
they're in my
Padres.
parlay.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. Whoa.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
right. It's still well.
Well, I believe it's calendar year.
Okay. All right.
So time to give me $100. That's the thing that you have to do.
All
Hit
right.
my Venmo line. I think that the Padres have more famous and recognizable players.
Yeah.
Now, I think that if you haven't been paying attention to the Cubs, there are a lot of guys that you don't realize are much better than they are. I felt uninspired by the Cubs for most of the year, and then I looked up and they were like comfortably in the top wild card position.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padres had cooled off from where they were, for maybe like 6 weeks there. It looked like they were going to challenge the Dodgers, and I was like, yeah, just kidding. Some injuries and some shocker sort of lack of lineup depth, lack of roster depth that has plagued the Padres for the last couple of years. I think it stung the Cubs rotation when they lost Cade Horton for the year. Simultaneously, they, in theory, got Matthew Boyd back, but he was not as good as he was pre-injury, and he's only made a few starts since then. So I guess I lean Padres for like rotation and top level talent. Cubs are probably a better team. I think vibes wise, I don't know. I fancy myself a bit of a Cubs hater. I'm more compelled by the Padres advancing. There's 3 fucking NL Central teams in here right now. How did that happen? Mm-hmm. I know how that happened. The Mets botched it. But still, that doesn't feel right. So
yeah,
let's get those teams out. That's my feeling.
Yeah, that's fair. I hear that. Ramon Laureano also going to be out for the Padres in a finger splint over the next few weeks. Decent X factor there. He's performed.
Have you been following his year? He has like a 900 OPS, bro.
Yeah, he's having a really good year.
He's having the best year of his career after I thought he was just done. I thought he's
hitting like 280 with 25 home runs. It's crazy.
Nick Pivetta is starting game 1 for the Padres.
I simply choose to not believe that. That may cement my pick of the Cubs.
I mean, he's been good this year.
I know.
3.7 WAR, 2.87 ERA in 181 innings.
Shit, it's a little. This is too early for us to just start reading Baseball Reference stats.
This man made 31 starts this year. That's news to me. It's news to me. 349 FIP. Are you a FIP or an XFIP guy?
FIP. I think XFIP is
one level removed.
Just generally seen as like flawed. It's like we know that we're really getting into it.
You got to flex it once in a while, just so people know it's there.
Well, like XFIP takes FIP and says, but what, fielding independent pitching, and says, but also what if he had like a league average home run rate?
Mm-hmm.
But suppressing home runs is like a quantifiable skill. Like the idea that is purely luck based. And if you smoothed it all out, you would get it's like, okay, but guys who suppress home runs better are then negatively impacted by that stat. That's why I've always felt that FIP is more meaningful, because I just think XFIP is removing a stat that actually is within the pitcher's control.
So then are you more of an XERA or Sierra guy than you are even FIP?
Oh, God. I like Sierra.
Yeah, Sierra's pretty good.
Name your top 5 stats. Quick, go. For $1, name a stat.
I mean, number 1, left on base percentage.
Right, okay.
Another thing that's relatively random. All right. So then, okay, wait. Do we have a quorum here?
No, we don't. You're picking Padres. I'm picking Cubs. Do we need quorum?
Well, what's the narrative? Okay, speaking back to our point of like narrative balling it.
Right.
The Padres advance.
Of the segment.
The Padres advance. It's like all of this aggressiveness was not for nothing. The Padres get eliminated in the first round after once again only making the wild card and failing to challenge the Dodgers for the NL West. Is the narrative then AJ Preller is cooked and has burnt out the Padres farm system for another early exit, for another failure to make it to the World Series? And then if the Cubs advance, is the narrative like, yeah, it just took Jed Hoyer a couple of years to get things back on track, but he's actually a good GM? Because if you remember, like a year ago, people were calling for Jed Hoyer's head.
Yeah, and some still are. Perhaps chiefly my father-in-law.
Yeah, but like your father-in-law. We're not going to get into it.
Okay. You're right.
He's got some strongly held opinions that only, I think, basically at this point, a World Series could deter him from.
Correct. Yes.
I would like to reward the Padres' aggressive trade deadline because I thought it was cool and interesting. Like, why did they trade their best prospect for Mason Miller? That's just why did they do that? Why did they do
Crazy
that?
work. Crazy work. Yeah, I think it's Cubs' success sort of post quote unquote dynasty era. I don't even know that you could argue that it ever really coalesced into a dynasty. But obviously coming off of 2016 and the sort of star core that they had and the subsequent dismantling of that, it was sort of like, well, what is the team now? Right? It's Ian Happ and fill in the blank, right? And obviously they have come back
Great
from that.
car seat headrest song.
Fill in the blank. Nice.
Great song.
This guy lives in Brooklyn. But I think it's that, right? It's that there is a future for this organization without tearing it down. They've been hanging around the last few years, and it hasn't necessarily seemed like they have fully come back. But after adding a guy like Kyle Tucker and the coming out party in the last couple of years of someone like Nico Horner, it's like, hey, maybe things are going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Cubs narrative is like, actually, maybe things are okay. Maybe we don't have to blow it up to get where we were.
That's a good take.
Does that fit on a baseball card?
In what circumstance would that be going on a baseball card? What do you think baseball cards are
power
for?
Through. 10 p.m.
I really wish you had seen One Battle After Another, because I would be making One Battle After Another references left and right here.
I know you would, but I'm going to hold out so long that it drives you crazy.
What? It's not. It's no skin off my back. Is that a problematic phrase? It feels like a problematic phrase when it came out of my mouth.
I don't know, and I'm not going to look up the answer until after this podcast is published.
All right. Okay. Might have to roll back the bleep button for that one.
That's right, brother. What do we got next?
Let's bounce up to the other side of the NL. Do you want to do the whole NL and then the AL, or do you want to do the whole first round first? What's easier? I think whole first round.
I think let's do the first round. Yeah.
Okay. Reds, Dodgers. Here's some narratives for you. I'll throw out just a couple narratives. Either way, Reds win. I think the predominant narrative is this playoff format is dangerous. Where are we letting 84 win teams in who can spoil the party of a team that won their division again, like the Dodgers? However, because it's the Dodgers, I think if the Dodgers lose, there will be quite a bit of victory lapping from a lot of fan bases and from a lot of just like, not to be mean, but like dumb people on the internet. Mostly on LinkedIn. LinkedIn DM. We're getting a lot of LinkedIn DMs about the Dodgers being eliminated. Because the Dodgers won like a full season, fair and square, bona fide World Series where they eliminated some good teams last year and they beat the Yankees in the World Series. I don't think there's going to be a like Dodgers choke artist narrative, really. Although, of course, you could sprinkle in a little bit of like Kershaw sucks in the playoffs if he comes in and blows one of the games.
That'd be kind of crazy work.
Let's inject some like life support onto that narrative. You know, inject some life support, that thing that you do in the medical field. And you're like, dude, it's time for some life support. Let's inject it.
Yo, straight into my veins.
I think I was looking for, let's put that narrative on life support or let's inject some adrenaline into that narrative. But, you know, it's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Dodgers win. It's like, yeah, they didn't care about the regular season. They're just back to being the same old Dodgers.
Yeah, well, so I think you're right. I think I almost might go the other direction with the Reds winning, which is not to say necessarily that like I think the narrative then is that an expanded playoffs is like capital G good for the game, but I do think it beckons this idea that the expanded playoffs in a sense works, right? It injects some chaos into
some life support.
It injects some life support into a stale October. No, I think that like in someone like Rob Manfred's eyes, and that's not necessarily the narrative even that we're taking for this sort of thing, but it...
Well, if Rob thinks it, I think it.
Me too. But I think it provides fodder again for it's like, wow, the last team in actually is maybe punching above their weight, right? And so maybe that's a reason for the expanded playoffs. Because if you're inviting 6 teams on either side into the postseason and the 6th seed on each side is getting bounced, then it's a little bit sort of like, all right, why, what are we doing this exercise for? Why are those teams even making it at all? If the
Playoff
Reds
revenue.
Well, okay. Right. Once again, Rob's narrative.
That's his narrative too.
I know. But I don't know. I think Reds winning gives a little life. Gotta stop talking about. We've talked a lot about like life and death so far in this episode.
It busts out it resuscitates the narrative. But I think you're right.
An IV drip.
You're right, but this just happened with the Diamondbacks a couple of years ago, and that was plenty. They did plenty. They made it all the way to the World Series. So I think they did plenty to satisfy that sort of question of whether or not this format gives those teams a chance. I think if the Reds win, there's more of that nonsense that we've had the last couple of years where it's like, actually, the lower seeded teams have an advantage, like which is dumb.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
Right.
The sample size is too small for that to be conclusive, but I think people will say that. All that to say, I don't think it's going to matter, and I think the Dodgers are going to beat them.
I agree. I mean, I think also a Dodgers run this postseason is like just dynasty fodder. You
love dynasty talk.
I love dynasty talk.
Yeah,
I think it's fun.
What's your favorite dynasty in history?
Han. Probably.
Why is that?
Because it was the first one that popped into my mind. Second is probably 70s A's. And third is Roman Empire.
I was gonna say I'm partial to the Romanovs.
Good one. Yeah. You're a big pre 1917 Russia guy?
Yeah, see, like I think they had their one shot at it and they kind of fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I
think we should have
like
maybe asked. I think we
I
should.
am not gonna make my shot.
I was thinking more like 8 Mile. You only get one shot.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to hit me with a little garage freestyle? Parking garage freestyle?
No, I want to talk about the next series, please.
Now that I know that a lot of people who listen to the podcast think it's incoherent, I'm like more compelled to try to make it more incoherent.
I will say before we move on from the series entirely, Clayton Kershaw not on the wild card roster.
Oh, intriguing. I think they'll probably try to put him on if they advance to a longer series.
Yes, I agree with that. But a sort of open question mark. Has Clayton Kershaw played his last game? Probably not.
Maybe.
Bookmark that one for you. Where are we going next? You want to do the 5-4 next, like we did in the NL? Red Sox Yankees?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's breaking my sort of counterclockwise brain, but we can do it. We could do it. Let's do it this way.
I don't know what you're looking at. So
I'm looking at the
Are you just looking at
postseason
the,
picture presented by Adobe.
right. Which is, if it's not presented by Adobe, you're not looking at it.
The Adobe offices are right across the street from the Patreon offices. Are you familiar with this?
No, why would I be familiar?
I walked out my first day at Patreon, not in the SF one. And I walked out my first day at Patreon, and I was like, "What are they doing there? You know, is this a bunch of people doing Photoshops?"
Yes, a bunch of people using the platforms.
product. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, let's do Yankees Red Sox. What are some narratives we could pick up for this matchup, Alex?
Whoa.
I'll tell you a narrative that I hope comes out of this series.
Okay.
The rivalry's back. I'd like that. A little too friendly.
Yeah,
these teams have not been good enough at the same time for it to really mean much. The Astros have been a curveball in the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry because the Astros have been the team that has been eating the Yankees' lunch. And the year that the Red Sox
went reheating their nachos?
I don't get that joke.
I'm just doing word association right now.
Keep going down this path, actually. We might get to something good.
No, probably not. What were you saying?
Well, I was saying that when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2018, they steamrolled the Astros on the way. And I don't think that they played the Yankees in that series. Actually, when was the last time the Red Sox and Yankees played in the playoffs?
Probably the year you're about to read, because you're also the one looking this answer up.
2021 American League wild card game, and the Red Sox won, according to Gemini. So who knows? Much of that could be wrong. I'm into this series. One thing about me is I'm a sucker for a rivalry.
I know. Yeah, I love a dynasty. You love a rivalry.
I like a dynasty too. You don't have a monopoly on dynasties.
Red Sox have the edge this year.
Yeah.
I think they're like
just
9
in the matchup.
In the matchup. Red Sox, Yankees. I think they're 9-4 against them, against the Yankees.
The Yankees came damn close to winning the AL East again.
I know.
I mean, they finished tied with the same record as the Blue Jays, who got the 1 seed.
Yes. Which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, they sneaky finished the season on a really good run.
They did. This guy, Aaron Judge, don't know if you've heard of him.
It's crazy that he's going to get Tommy John in the offseason. Like, he's just playing. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They got Giancarlo Stanton's ass out in left field. Are you familiar with this?
I know.
Crazy stuff.
That's AL batting title holder, Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm.
That's MVP runner-up, Aaron Judge.
True. It's because of all the singles the opposite way that he hit.
Right, exactly. That's because he's going bat to ball.
He's just trying to put it in play.
Exactly. Inside-out swing.
I still don't know what that means. He's staying inside the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not trying to do too much.
He letting the game come to him, would you say?
Nice. Trying to get into favorable accounts. We're just reading like Ted Williams' philosophy on hitting at this point.
I mean, The Red Sox narrative, maybe sort of similar to the Cubs one, honestly, should they come...
They acquired your fandom throughout this year.
Right, exactly. Is sort of a little bit like...
We're back.
Right. Fuck your rebuild. We didn't need a rebuild. You thought that after everything this team has gone through, that like we really were gonna... that we had to hit rock bottom? That we had to tear it all down? Especially coming off sort of the gritty Netflix documentary,
Gritty.
At least if the three descriptors that flash by on the screen are any indication.
There's no way they described it as gritty. Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious.
I love irreverent. That's my favorite Netflix descriptor. Irreverent. I like when sometimes they're like adjectives and other times they're just like true crime.
Right, phrases or like genre bending.
Murder.
I'm like, genre bending.
Yeah. Dude, what are you in the mood to watch tonight? Something's genre bending. For sure. Yeah.
I want it to be not what I expect, hopefully.
It's pretty genre bending. One battle after another.
Red Sox win. Breslow vindicated.
Uh-huh.
Especially after the Devers headache at the beginning of the year for that front office.
Yeah, were we ever so young?
It was all worth it.
What's he doing? He's in Cabo. He's in Cabo. He's in Cabo. He's golfing. I will say, I found it just frankly detestable that Alex Cora came out and was like, nobody believed in us before the season. That's just bullshit, bro. Everybody picked the Red Sox to make the playoffs. You guys finished 5th. You have the 5th seed in the AL. Nobody believed in you to win 88 games? Come on.
And if anything, I think folks maybe overestimated you a little bit.
A lot of people picked them to go to the World Series, which look, they're still in the running, and my favorite team is not. I get that. Neither is the team that they traded Devers to. That didn't work out for the Giants.
Yeah.
Super great. Obviously not just a 1-year move, really. I just think I'm tired of stuff like that. The whole like chip on my shoulder, nobody believed in us. I would have loved it if he came out and was like, we performed pretty much how people expected this year. And now we're going to give it the old college try in October. I would have respected that.
Yeah, I agree.
I still want the Red Sox to eliminate the Yankees. I think it's a better narrative.
What's the Yankees narrative coming out of this? If they prevail? Just like fucking pinstripes inevitable?
Still the best team in the AL, only fell short of winning the AL East again because, we lost Garrett Cole and we've had injuries and we had Aaron Judge out for a month. And I think that's probably the narrative. Like we were the best all along and we hit a rough patch and, we still got a shot here.
Yeah. How could you have bet against us?
The Yankees narrative, however, is always like World Series or bust. So I never really find it compelling to talk about them in like the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Remember last year when it was just awful? It's like they eliminated like 3 AL Central teams on the way to the World Series. Maybe it was just 2. I think 2 AL Central teams on the way to the World Series. Remember when Juan Soto was on their team?
I don't. I'm leading Red Sox in this series.
It's the first time I've seen you not wearing your Red Sox hat in months.
I know. I came this close. It was the other option today. Decided against it.
Do you remember when we declared that the Red Sox were cool again? And then they immediately like melted down and traded Devers and it was a PR disaster. And we were like, sorry.
So, which is why we're declaring here on this podcast live right now, the Yankees are cool again.
Always were, brother. The only thing that makes me question, though, whether it'd be a good thing if the Yankees won the World Series this year is like, I didn't love the whole like getting rid of the facial hair policy thing. I thought they caved on that. And for them to win the World Series and reward that sort of weak-willed behavior
sheeple
would be honestly sort of like pissing on the boss's grave. And I can't stand with that. I can't get behind that.
Right. I know, because you're a big George Head.
I am a big George Head. Some might say I have that name in my name.
Some might say you have the face on your back.
What? Is that like are you trying to say I have like a tattoo of George Steinbrenner on me? That was a real high wire act of a joke.
I know.
Okay. Let's go Sox. Guardians
what do we got?
Tigers
Guards,
is
Tigers.
delicious. This is delicious.
It
This
is.
is delicious. I love that they are matching up with each other in the playoffs.
Mhm.
I love that the Guardians made it. I love that they actually won the division. Sorry to the Tigers fans, whom I know have not had a ton of luck. Honestly, Tigers kind of like Mets West in the way that they have failed over the years. Like they've gotten close a couple times, not quite done it.
Mhm.
Should have probably done it a couple times. Have had some real low lows in that interim period. And seem a little snake bitten over the years with their luck. I think that the narrative for the Tigers is it's a reset when it's
Yep,
when it
that's what I was
turns to
going to say
October.
as well. Exactly.
Doesn't matter. We're in the dance. We still got a shot. We got the best pitcher.
Would you say that when the calendar turns to October, every day is opening day?
And every day is closing day.
Oh, sure.
Nick Castellanos might be saying that from the bench of the Philadelphia Phillies. Who knows? More on him later. I think that the Tigers are going to win this series, and I think it's going to be funny.
I do too.
I think that's the funniest possible outcome.
Well,
and therefore the one that I want to happen the most.
The Tigers, I think, you can correct me if you think this is wrong, but I think they were largely overplaying themselves, overplaying throughout the first half of the season or so, kind of came back to earth and landed about where I think their talent level lies, which is like an 87, 88 win team, which is pretty good. And I think the Guardians had an incredible run over the last couple months that maybe oversells how good of a team they are. They're the only team in the playoffs with a negative run differential this year, -6.
Nonsense. Woke nonsense.
Unbelievable. I can't believe we're letting this happen.
I agree.
Someone should put a stop to it.
We should get rid of records and just go straight to Pythag.
Yeah. Honestly, we should
give out we should give out the Cy Young on XFIP, and we should give playoff spots on Pythag, dude.
Who says no?
Phil Mushnick is who says no. I'll tell you that much.
That's right.
That much. I think the narrative, if the Guardians win, is a little bit stale. I mean, I think it's the same narrative that it's been when they've won playoff series for the last 8 years. It's like we overperform with our under-resourced organization, and we will continue to not sign players, and we will continue to not retain our best players because we just believe that we can develop anything. I mean, that is what will happen if they continue to have success. Even them making it in basically confirms that narrative for their organization. And I'm not trying to pour cold water on what has been an incredible run for the last couple of months. I mean, I think that what is like genuinely awesome to watch and always has been with Cleveland is like they just churn out pitchers. They just churn out. So they haven't given up any runs for the last 2 months. That's why they're in the playoffs. That's why they were able to come back and win the division away from the Tigers. I think I was ready to turn the page on the Guardians in this division, and they were like, not yet, brother. Not quite.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's a little bit like this baseball team. This team still plays baseball the old-fashioned way. Like,
yeah.
you know,
there was a lot of that heading into the ALCS last year, and then what happened?
Well, right, exactly. Yes, but it's like
sweep.
This is a team that puts bat to ball. You know, this is a team that
just like Aaron Judge
that lets their starters shove. You know, this is a team that still makes the Coke with the syrup, like whatever.
Dude, 2 pitchers suspended for a betting scandal and then sneaking into the postseason, like just made it all go away. No one's even talking about this. The best closer in baseball last year got Cy Young votes. The man got Cy Young votes last year, and he is just on leave for potentially throwing a game. Not throwing a game, for potentially spiking a couple pitches.
Right, yeah.
Nuts. Crazy stuff.
Wild stuff. I think we both lean Tigers in this series.
Would they give him a World Series ring if they won the World Series?
Yeah, no doubt.
World Series ring and then banned for life?
That'd be crazy.
Am I talking myself back in on the Guardians going all the way?
Just to see what would happen.
Yeah, just to put some pressure on the system. No, I agree. Tigers. Okay.
All right, so we had the we were split on Padres Cubs, but we both took the Dodgers. We both took Red Sox. Both took the Tigers. Those are the wild card games.
Correct.
We got a few more teams to talk about.
Yeah, let's stay in the AL and let's stay with the Tigers that we were just talking about. They are matching up against the Mariners. I think the people's choice.
Well, potentially matching up against the Mariners. Yes.
In the Narrativeball.
Oh, if we're taking it all the way.
Yeah, taking it all. We're taking all the way.
Wow.
TBT. Unless you don't want to do it as like we're advancing this team, you want to just talk about the rest.
No. Let's do it. All right, Mariners Tigers.
Mariners.
Yeah.
Next.
kind of easy.
I think the Mariners are kind of like the people's choice. Some combination of the Mariners and the Blue Jays, I think, would make the most people happy. Although obviously the AL East fan bases would not love to see the Blue Jays. And then on the NL side, I'm a little bit more split, but we're not talking about the NL yet. So I think it's a pretty clear case that more people support the Mariners potentially advancing.
Yeah, there are a handful of narratives that you can pull from, but I think the prevailing one and the right one is
the right narrative.
The correct narrative. And if you think anything else, you're wrong.
You're obsessed with finding the right narrative. You, Ezra Klein, Derek Thompson, you guys are all trying to just find the right narrative.
I'm so glad you can name them now.
Oh, I could always name Ezra. I could always talk about Ezra. It was DK Thompson. I had to be careful about.
No World Series appearances.
Yes.
For the Mariners. I think that many people, perhaps myself included, would be rooting for that to be broken.
Many people are saying
Cal Raleigh is intriguing, and I think it'll be fun to see him on a national stage. Somehow, well, not even somehow, because it makes sense, but still eclipses the fact that Julio Rodriguez is on that team and is a good baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
Still
tough start to the year for him.
Tough start to the year. Still an extremely talented baseball player.
I saw some people talking about Cal Raleigh's home run chase of sorts, headed towards being the first, obviously catcher, obviously switch hitter to get to 60 home runs. He had a reasonable shot at breaking the recently set record that Aaron Judge had for most home runs in the American League. And I saw someone saying that it felt like not as many pitchers were pitching around him as were pitching around Aaron Judge. And then I saw someone else astutely point out that Cal Raleigh just swings at everything and hits bad pitches for
you can't really pitch.
You can't really pitch around him. He doesn't. I mean, he does walk. Like he'll take some walks too, but not quite like Aaron Judge will. And I just thought it was funny because the Yankees fans whined so much about Aaron Judge not getting enough good pitches to hit. Meanwhile, Cal Raleigh's like hitting pitches off the ground out of the park.
Maybe Aaron Judge should have swung more.
I totally agree. He's too busy
Extend
concerned
the
about
arms
his
a little
average.
bit.
He was too busy concerned about his average. He was selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe lift the swing plane a little bit.
Stop thinking about the name on the front, on the back of your jersey, and start thinking about the name on the front. Mr. Judge, there's no names on the back.
There is no name on the back of the Yankees jersey. It's fun. Yeah, and that rotation is fun too. Logan Gilbert.
I'm a Woo head.
George Kirby, Brian Wu, if he is healthy,
I know,
is unbelievable. I think it'll be fun to see him exposed to a broader audience. Yeah, the Mariners are easy to like.
Exposed. Jeez. Expose him. Expose Brian Wu.
That's all I have to say. The Mariners are the vibes pick. No disrespect to the Tigers.
Congratulations on advancing to the Vibes ALCS, Mariners. Mm-hmm. Okay. Blue Jays, Red Sox.
Sort of similar story here. I think you're right that like the Blue Jays are, I want to make sure we're not just like picking the team that has been here the least. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think it's necessarily that because they have been here less, that makes them inherently more enjoyable. Like, I don't think that's necessarily the case. The Blue Jays,
I think we've insulated ourselves from that by choosing the Dodgers to advance in front of the Reds.
All right, fair. Blue Jays with their first AL East title since 2015.
I remember that team.
I do too.
I've made a holy and sacred pact with the fandom of the Toronto Blue Jays, and I'm not willing to renege on that right now.
That's fair.
I respect them as people. I respect the great country of Canada.
That's good. You respect them as people.
I respect.
It was a little touch and go there for a minute.
I respect our friend Blake Murphy, who's had me on his Canadian television show many times to talk about the New York Mets and various other things. And for that reason, and not just that reason, I think the Blue Jays are cool and a good team, and I'd like to see many of their players on the biggest of stages. I'm selecting the Blue Jays as the better vibes pick, the better narrative to advance to the ALCS. Okay. Brewers, Cubs / Padres. I'll kick you off with a narrative. About 5 hours ago, I was ready to be really mad at the Brewers. I was ready to be like, I hope they get bounced in the first round. They're going to let the Reds sweep them. They're going to keep the Mets out by rolling over for their own division rival in the last series of the year. No, well, that didn't happen. And the Brewers actually did their part and won. And the Mets were the no one to blame but themselves. So for that reason, they've generated some goodwill with me. I'm willing to say I'd rather see the Brewers advance than either the Padres or the Cubs. What do you think about that, Alex? Curveball, noted Padres defender, Bobby Wagner, stabs him in the back. Noted AJ Preller superfan, stabs him in the back.
Well, you just want to see the fruits of the David Stearns project, right?
No, I actually don't. I'm so mad at David Stearns. You have no idea. My Stearns skepticism has been nothing but vindicated, just so you know.
Right. Except for the Brewers having the best record in baseball this year.
Sorry, he doesn't get credit for that anymore. Congratulations to Matt Arnold for building an excellent roster.
Right. That's real coming into the office, coming into the presidential office and being like, look how good the economy is that I just made right now. Coming into the presidential office. That was phrased extremely well. 97 wins. This is a really balanced and good Brewers team.
Yep. Franchise record.
Yeah.
Do it for Euchre. That's a narrative coming out of the
Great
2025 Milwaukee Brewers.
Did you see the thing about how the Brewers manager, whose name I know,
Pat Murphy,
how he read a the letter after the Brewers clinched the playoffs? He read like a letter to the team.
Yeah.
From Bob Euchre.
Did we not talk about that on the podcast? I felt like we talked about that.
I don't think we did talk about it.
I talked about it on my other podcast.
Yeah, right. He read a letter from Bob Euchre that was basically like, I knew you guys could do it. Like, this is so you guys overcame so much. And then they had to clarify afterwards, like, he did not actually write this letter. Pat Murphy wrote it in the style of Bob Euchre. Yeah, it was like personifying him a little bit. Really funny narrative. For that reason alone, I'm rooting for Pat.
He went Chalamet, Bob Dylan mode.
Right, exactly.
He was like, I'm doing this,
and I'm doing a little method acting here.
Bob Dylan not dead though. Still kicking. Still kicking. Just want to confirm that for everyone.
This is going great.
I thought that was weird, and I think probably ChatGPT was involved in it, so I don't love it.
I feel very confident about that.
Though I don't think that Pat Murphy knows how to use ChatGPT, so I think probably some clubby or something did that for him.
How many baseball players have used ChatGPT?
A lot.
You think?
Lot. Yes.
What for
more
what?
likely
What
Grok
are they using
or whatever,
it for?
though. Like more likely Grok, if we're being real.
Yeah, but like there aren't that many of them who are on X the Everything app.
You mean like what are they? They're not writing essays with it for sure. They're not writing emails for it. They're probably
I think a lot of them are just using it as like Google.
Yes, I think a lot of them are using it to like converse or like learn a fact. Bro, I was on the subway the other day and I was just watching this woman just having like a full-on conversation with ChatGPT. Like just a full-on like back and forth. Like, thanks for saying that. Like, can you give me more information about this? I was like,
thanks for saying that. Well, I know this because you took pictures of her and her chat and posted it on Twitter, which I appreciated. Let the world see.
What's your take? What's your take on that whole situation? You want to weigh in?
No, I don't. The Brewers.
You don't have Subway PDA thoughts?
Oh, thoughts. I thought your thoughts on like taking pictures of people in the subway. No, I don't have subway PDA thoughts. It's fucking New York City. Grow up. That's my thought. Oh, there are people kissing. Damn. Experience love.
The person who tweeted out the photo experienced love is an incredible burn. The person who tweeted out the photo responded to their own tweet after they were getting absolutely dunked on. And was like, I was just more like, a lot of people were like concerned about this, and they were like being egregious, like taking up 2 seats or something. And it's like, there's 2 of them.
2 people.
It's 2 people. They can sit however they want to take up those 2 seats. You don't expect her to sit on his lap just so that someone else can sit next to them, do you? That's deranged.
I think the Brewers' narrative is, look, you don't have to be sexy to win titles. You know, sometimes fundamentals win. Run prevention wins titles.
Let me actually, in a real baseball way, push back on that. I find the Brewers to be relatively sexy.
Okay.
I think their pitchers strike a lot of guys out. I think they have incredible repertoires. I think that Jackson Chourio is among the most exciting players in baseball. The rest of the guys, you know, it's not blowing your doors off. Sal Frelick, does that do it for you, Alex?
It might. Talk to me after this.
34-year-old Christian Yelich, still kicking, still above 800 OPS on the year. I find their roster to be relatively exciting. I think they play an exciting brand of baseball. And I think that they are sort of a contrast of like the way to build a modern roster. Like they have actually quite like athletic and toolsy players, where for a while it was like, we must get the guy who has this exact walk rate. You know, I think they've actually gone the other way, and their innovation has been more on the, you know, the pitching side and the, you know, I think pitch selection and development has been what has set them apart from a lot of other teams. I find them fun to watch, genuinely fun to watch.
I agree. I do too. I think that, for better or for worse, I often equate sexiness, because I think about this with regards to baseball teams a lot, right?
To payroll.
How sexy they are.
Yeah.
No, I often equate it more with like offensive prowess than I do pitching acumen. And maybe that's just a bias to me. I think that, I'm not even saying that like that is what I am drawn to, but I think in the eyes of the average viewer, a loud offense is fun. You're right. Strikeouts are fun too. But they're just incredible at run prevention, inducing soft contact.
They scored the 3rd most runs this year.
And they also scored the 3rd most runs this year. So in terms of scoring runs, they're pretty remarkable.
You're just saying they're not doing it how you want.
Right.
But they're doing it how I want. Stringing some hits together.
There's multiple paths to a destination.
They scored...
And I took the one
less traveled. They scored 19 fewer runs than the Dodgers, who had the 2nd most runs this year. And they hit 78 fewer home runs.
Oh my God.
They hit 108 fewer home runs than the Yankees, who have scored the most runs this year.
But see, this is what I mean. It's like they, not to be like fundamentals, but it's like they are manufacturing runs. It's not loud offense, but it's consistent and good offense.
I think there's a misconception that people think that that's better in October. It's actually mostly worse, because it's harder to string hits together in October. Because you're facing the best pitchers all of the time, and anytime you do get a runner on base, you're likely to see a pitching change for a fresh reliever.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the Brewers won't win. It doesn't mean that they can't string together a bunch of home runs. Certainly, they do have guys who can leave the yard, just not as much as literally any other playoff team. I mean, they hit fewer home runs than every other team in the league. No, like every other team that actually made the playoffs. They were 22nd in home runs this year. And it's not just that home runs win the World Series, you know, but that's uncommon. Sandwiched between the White Sox and the Reds.
Exactly where you want to be.
It's just unfathomable that the Mets didn't make the playoffs this year. It's just it's unfathomable. The 5th most home runs, and just, I mean, crazy town. Okay,
Brewers
so you're
advance.
Cool with Brewers advancing. Okay, Phillies, Dodgers. Bloodbath here. What a bloodbath.
Yeah.
The Chase Utley Bowl. Go ahead, lay it on me. Lay it on me how you're feeling sympathetic towards the Phillies again. I can see it.
I'm
I can
not.
see it in your eyes.
I'm not.
Don't lie to me.
I think the Phillies being down Zach Wheeler is kind of a big mark against them.
Yeah. They have so many
Okay.
good starters.
Sure, I guess. And
Jesus
I know they have.
Luzardo is pitching like fucking Don Drysdale for the last 6 weeks. It's insane. It's insane what he's doing.
No, I know.
He's like the modern Sandy Koufax.
Come on, give me one more. Give me one more comp. Well, I'm not going to move on until you give me a third comp.
Yeah.
No, I'm
he's
kidding,
basically
it's
Tom
fine.
Glavine. There you go.
The Phillies are good. You heard it here first. The Phillies are a good baseball team, even without.
I think they're the best
Nick
team in baseball,
Castellanos.
like by a little bit. Like I think there's a gap. I know that they didn't win the most games. The Brewers won more games than them. I think the Phillies roster is like significantly better than every other roster. They have the best rotation, the best lineup, and like the third best bullpen, probably. Pretty good formula for success in October.
It is. I still probably take the Dodgers. Maybe that's not vibes based. Maybe that's like, no, it probably is vibes based. I don't know. The Dodgers are basically running it back with the team that won the World Series last year. More or less. It's like kind of copy paste.
Plus Tanner Scott, who's been tipping his pitches all year, apparently.
That's right, he has. Yeah.
Let's go.
Plus Shohei Ohtani on the mound.
I gotta put my hand up and say I was wrong about Ohtani. Earlier in the year when they first brought him back, I think on an episode of 3 Up 3 Down on the Patreon, I said that I suspected that the Dodgers were basically saying that Ohtani was done being a real starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I thought that the way that they waited so long to bring him back, and then when they did bring him back, it was like for like 1 or 2 innings. I thought that they were planning on basically using him as an opener, almost like a gimmick starter. And I was just flat out wrong. They've just been letting him pitch like a starter. He pitched 6 innings in his most recent start. 6 innings, Alex. 6 innings of scoreless baseball.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's actually fucked up how good he is.
It's super fucked
Third
up.
straight year with an OPS over 1,000. He hit 55 home runs this year. 55.
I know. And he only stole 20 bases. Like, what is he?
I know.
Come on, dude.
He clearly is not going to steal a lot of bases ever again because of the injury that he sustained in the postseason, stealing a base.
Yeah. So he'll max out at 20,
20's weak, dude. Did you see Soto almost went 40-40?
Yeah, I know. Hey, almost. Close
Silver
counts of
lining.
horseshoes and hand grenades. I sort of feel like this is another series that feels like a coin flip to me. I think I kind of take the Dodgers narratively in terms of a back-to-back titles, Ohtani cementing his place in Dodgers history, Kershaw's last hurrah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, might be equally poetic for the Dodgers to go out on a Clayton Kershaw meltdown.
Mm-hmm. Going out like Stan Shera. There's a 2021 reference.
That's right, exactly. To rummage around in the corners of my brain to really understand that one. But the Phillies are really good at home. 55 wins.
I think that the narrative is better if the Dodgers win because I hate the Phillies and I think they're a heinous organization who are rooted for by evil people. I think that the Phillies will win this series.
Okay.
So we advance the Dodgers for the purposes of this podcast. But I think basically I think the Phillies are going to win the World Series. And I think that the Mets missing the playoffs more or less confirmed that because frankly, I think the Mets own the Phillies in October, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So now that
no one here to keep them in check.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that the Phillies are going to steamroll the rest of the National League, but
not for the purposes of this exercise.
Yeah, sayonara. Pack your bags, Phils. You're going home, and the vibe's off. Okay.
I haven't been keeping track. What are we at right now?
Dodgers Brewers
in the NLCS.
Correct. What's the better narrative? Keep in mind by this point the listeners know the narratives that we've laid out for all of these teams, so it's really just kind of like a matter of sifting through which one is more important. You want the Dodgers to win back-to-back World Series so bad, it seems.
I kind of do. Yeah.
And I don't hate that.
That narrative is compelling to me, maybe more compelling than the Brewers sort of like fundamentals wins baseball games.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Like, let's leave Derek Jeter and the Yankees three-peat in the dustbin of history. Let's
Exactly.
move on to the Shohei Ohtani era.
Yeah, I mean, kind of yes, right? Like I'm
not joking.
This is their time to do it.
Yeah.
And every time we think the Dodgers are out, they pull us back in. From the famous movie Scarface.
Okay, Dodgers. Clearly.
All right.
Congratulations, Brewers. You had a great season. Do it for you. Cooked this narrative.
Didn't it for you?
Okay. On the AL side,
on the AL, it's Mariners,
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. Yeah. Narratively, I think the Mariners kind of take the cake on this one.
Yeah, I have to respect that. I think personally for me, I think I lean Blue Jays.
In terms of like what is in terms of the narrative, or in terms
of my preference,
like your preference in terms of the narrative, or
no, my preference in terms of the teams.
Okay.
I agree with you that I think the Mariners have the best narrative. And if we could just cut straight to the World Series between the Mariners and Dodgers, I think that the Mariners probably win that narrative battle as well.
Yeah.
I think so few people want to see the Dodgers repeat, even though I think it's relatively compelling and you clearly are so in the bag for it.
Yep.
But the Mariners not only making their first World Series, but having to knock off the defending champion with the roster that ruined baseball narrative, I think
it's awesome. It's
you could not write it better than that.
No, you couldn't.
Wow, I'm getting a little misty thinking about the Mariners bringing it home.
That's
Congratulations to
right.
the 2025 Seattle Mariners for bringing home the Tipping Pitches Narrativeball World Series trophy.
Ironically, I think the Dodgers beat the Mariners in the World Series this year. That's my prediction.
That's your real pick?
That's my real pick. Lock it in. 6 games.
I think the Phillies are going to gentlemen sweep the Blue Jays in the World Series.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to be fucking miserable for 5 months. So if you're a listener of this podcast who wants to hear good episodes, I suggest you root against the Phillies at all costs. Or maybe you're a listener of this podcast who thinks the episodes are better when I'm suffering, in which case, congratulations on the Phillies winning the World Series. Did we do a good job of preparing people for October?
I think we did it justice.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
We have a Patreon episode coming up in 2 days' time, in which I suppose we will be talking about 3 Up, 3 Down playoff edition, though many of this wildcard series might not be over yet. So we'll have to figure out what the timing of that is compared to the playoff schedule. But have no fear. It's not going to be a meaningful preview of the games. It's just going to be us talking about the vibes. Just going to be us talking about the vibes.
Well, you already got your meaningful preview of the games. That was right here, right now.
Over on Effectively Wild. Over on the Effectively Wild.
Right, yes, exactly.
Yeah, 3 Up, 3 Down later on Patreon this week. Another main feed episode in 1 week's time where we will be smack in the middle of the division series. Any parting words of wisdom for any fans of any of these teams, Alex? Any playoff advice? I know it's been a minute for you as a fan. Anything like you'd like to impart? Maybe a little perspective about how grateful people should be for rooting for a team that's in the playoffs?
I think you should be grateful for rooting for a team at all. Frankly. Everyone leaves. Don't hold anything close. Protect yourself. Protect your heart. Because it all ends eventually. It might be twice as many years if you've experienced already. Maybe half as many years as you experienced already.
I can't believe
but
you think
know
I'm
what?
going to kick all the way to
once.
90. You only die once. I can't believe you think I'm going to keep kicking all the way to 90.
I hope so.
What is it about my lifestyle that makes you feel that way?
That doesn't feel crazy to me. I feel like that's pretty common these days. What year are you living in? You thought you were like kind of okay with me positing that you were going to live to 60, as if it's like the 1850s right now.
Do you know how much stress I experience at the hands of the New York Mets?
I know.
You're talking about life expectancy for society at large. I'm talking about life expectancy for the average New York Mets fan.
That's true. I have not adjusted it for fandom.
Okay. Thanks to everyone. Sorry to all my fellow Mets fans. We'll be back on Patreon in a couple of days and here on the main feed in 1 week's time. We'll see you then. Bye.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Rodriguez. Tipping pitches.
Tipping pitches.
This is the one that I love the most.
Tipping pitches.
So we'll see you next week. See ya!